today we are going to be looking at deciphering one of the latest Rise of Kingdom official posts on their social media. They have just teased a brand new update that will be coming into the game at some point, part of the Rise of Kingdom's 7-year anniversary. So you can see that there is a lot of information that we can digest from this artwork. There are so many different theories on what this could be, but this will be releasing as part of the 7-year anniversary for Rise of Kingdoms. So definitely get keen, guys. Now, really the biggest question is, will this lead to a brand new KVK format? Obviously, that is the biggest question that people are having right now. I believe that it will potentially be leading to that next big KVK format. Now, just having a very quick look here, guys, so you can see this is an old post from the official Rise of Kingdoms Facebook page. Now, this was from September 10th, 2024. This is when they announced the King of All Britain KVK, and this was just before the anniversary for the 6th year celebrations in Rise of Kingdoms. They announced the King of All Britain KVK. And one thing I will say about the King of All Britain KVK, it was a massive success in terms of the complexity that the KVKs offer. Obviously, there has been one other KVK released after the King of All Britain, which was in fact the Keen Blades KVK. However, the Keen Blades KVK was, you know, a lot less interesting, to say the least. It also wasn't as complex in terms of the map design and so on. So the King of All Britain really was one of the biggest success stories in terms of how happy the players were playing in that new game mode. It introduced quite a lot of new mechanics, and there obviously was a lot of development that went into that KVK story. Now that we are approaching the 7 years of Rise of Kingdoms, guys, it definitely seems like it is that time again for the developers to release the next big KVK format. So the question is this artwork here relating to the next update? Like I said, they have released this without any information at this stage. Really, at the moment, this is just a teaser for you guys to go and look at. This is all the information that we have right now. But in this video, what we are going to be discussing, though, is some of the clues that are hidden here in this artwork. So obviously there is a lot to discuss around this artwork, okay? And one of the biggest questions is this big gigantic portal right there in the middle. And obviously the only portal that we've really ever used is kind of like when you're teleporting around the map, or when you're entering into a new KVK, you kind of are teleporting from your home kingdom into a brand new KVK map. So as far as my understanding goes, I would kind of see this or view this portal here as the entry point into a new KVK game mode. But however, while we are looking at this portal, guys, let's also take a closer look at this. Okay, so you can see here, it definitely seems like it is some kind of structure. Obviously, there are some players who maybe are thinking that this could potentially be like a Zenith skin. I definitely think that is a possibility, depending on whether or not this translates to some kind of civilization. Now, obviously, when they release a new civilization in the game, usually that does also include some kind of a default artwork for the city theme of that civilization. So that could potentially be what happens if they did release a new civilization in the game. However, guys, from what I can tell in this artwork, just based off of my gut feeling, I do think that this is going to lead to the next big KVK format. Whether or not they do release a new civilization as part of that update as well, we'll just have to see. But one thing that we are going to look at here, so I'm just going to open up this little section here for you guys. So one thing that we have noticed here as part of when we're looking closely at this structure inside of the portal, there is a little bit of strange writing that is on the flag line there. So what I actually did, guys, is I went online and I had a look at ancient Persian writing, and that's what you guys are seeing right here underneath the structure. So as far as I can tell, this ancient Persian writing here, it definitely has some resemblance to the writing that appears in the structure. So it's not exactly the same. You know, obviously I could be wrong. This is just my gut feeling that this structure obviously could be some kind of civilization that does appear to have some resemblance here to the ancient Persian civilization. So guys, that is going to lead us to the next thing as well to discuss. So you can see there are a few commanders that are in this artwork here. However, one commander here that really stood out to me, okay, out of all the commanders here, the only one that is facing back is in fact Artemisia. So she also appears to be running towards the portal as if she's going to be entering the portal. All right, so when I'm looking at the way she's running, I'm not really sure exactly. Maybe I'm taking this the wrong way, but I feel like maybe she's also an enemy of the other commanders already standing here. It definitely seems as though she could be running towards the portal as if she's already being attacked by the other commanders here in the picture. So maybe I'm wrong about that, but it just sort of seems like she's more on the defensive rather than like she's running alongside the other commanders. That is the vibe that I'm getting from the pose that she is doing right here. So it's sort of like she's looking over her back as if she wants to make sure that there's a distance between herself and the other commanders that might be following her in battle. Now, also that is going back to the fact that we did just discuss the potential civilization inside of the portal that could maybe be the Persian Empire. So this is going to lead to the next very interesting facts about Artemisia. So if we go take a look in game, all right, we have the profile here of Artemisia. So I'm just going to read you out a little bit of this paragraph. So Artemisia fought as an ally of Xerxes, king of Persia, against the independent Greek city-states during the second Persian invasion of Greece. She personally commanded her contribution of 5 ships at the naval battle of Artemisium and in the naval battle of Salamis in 480 BC. So guys, I want you to remember this name here as well, the Salamis, all right? This is a very important name here to remember because we're going to be talking about that in a little bit. So going back to Artemisia in the artwork here, she does appear to be running towards the portal, who, like I said, is potentially the Persian Empire, and we just read in Rise of Kingdoms as part of the Artemisia profile that she has had a allegiance with the Persian Empire. So it's like she is running towards the Persian Empire to potentially fight alongside them while she's being chased down by other commanders here in the game. That is what I'm getting from this artwork, and I think that's very interesting. She clearly is the commander that stands out here out of all the other commanders. All right, guys, now the other really interesting thing that we are going to be looking at here is actually on the right-hand side of this artwork. You can see that there are a number of columns here, and they do appear to have some kind of insignia located towards the top of the column. So one in particular that we are going to be looking at is the one here, which was on the far right. Now, this particular symbol, it may not appear to be that relevant right now. However, because I love to play many video games, especially I love playing medieval games. That's really just like my favorite type of video game. I used to enjoy playing the Total War series quite a lot. And one of the games in particular was the Total War Troy series. All right. So this is the resemblance that I discovered here. This picture here that we just put up on the screen is in fact from the Total War Troy series. Now, guys, I can definitely see there is a very clear resemblance here between the artwork from Rise of Kingdoms and the insignia from the Total War Troy series. So I'm going to give you guys a little bit of a backstory of what this particular artwork or insignia is from the Total War Troy series. Now, it actually represents one of the factions from the ancient Greek civilization, and that is in fact the Salamis. Okay, so if you guys recall when we were looking earlier at the Artemisia profile or the biography of Artemisia, okay, it clearly said that she has fought in the Battle of Salamis and that she is also aligned with the Persian Empire. So the Salamis is a real historical battle that did occur in ancient Greece, okay? And they also were enemies of Persia. So this is very interesting, guys. Now, obviously, I could be wrong about the resemblance here, but I definitely see something there. It does seem like the artwork in Rise of Kingdoms could be the potential meaning of the Salamis civilization, or the ancient Greek civilization in particular. I can definitely see that there is a clear resemblance here between the two pictures. So anyway, guys, I just wanted to offer some of my thoughts about what this potential teaser artwork could be leading to later this month as part of the 7th anniversary for Rise of Kingdoms. So there's definitely going to be a lot of exciting updates coming out later on this year. And also, just going back earlier, again, back to the King of All Britain announcement, which again was almost exactly 1 year ago. That did occur on the 10th of September 2024. So definitely stay tuned. Potentially, we could be getting an update around about the same time again this year. Official announcement from Rise of Kingdoms team themselves regarding the brand new KVK format. That is what we are speculating here, guys, that there could potentially be that brand new KVK format. So who knows what this format could be looking like, but based off of the massive scale of King of All Britain from the previous year as part of that 60th anniversary, if they do release a brand new KVK format, I have a feeling that this could be one of the biggest KVK formats that we have ever seen. Previously, looking at the developers' announcements, okay, or what they've spoken about KVK formats and so on, as part of the community gatherings that Lilith liked to attend and talk about future updates for the game. So they have definitely spoken about how they wanted to release new KVK formats each calendar year. And now that we haven't seen a new KVK format released in quite a while, okay, or at least a big KVK format, it is definitely time for Rise of Kingdoms to start releasing that next big KVK format. And now it could be right around the corner, guys. So I'm super excited. Also, the fact that 2359 is in off season right now. So hopefully, if there is a new KVK format coming up in the next month or so, maybe we will be the first ones to experience that new Pioneer KVK game mode. I really hope that that will be the case. Anyway, guys, I'm super excited. So guys, if you did enjoy me discussing some of the theories here as part of this artwork today, please do consider to like and subscribe. And also feel free to comment down below if you guys have any other suggestions or theories on what this potential KVK format could look like. So with that being said, guys, again, I hope you have a great week ahead, and I will see you all in the next video.